You are about to witness the most unprepared and overthought clinic you've ever seen. We're going to be discussing video editing using a product called Filmora, but we're going to start with this, which was made with Filmora. Okay, that video I created the other day, this past week, using a product called Filmora. And what I'm going to do today is show you what Filmora is and some of the kind of things you can do with it. And so this is video editing with Filmora. What is Filmora? Well, it's consumer-based video editing software. It's for the PC and the Mac primarily, although you can get a version that will run on iPhone and Android. It has various plans that you can purchase. It has a plan base, which you pay X number of dollars a month. You'll see that in a moment. A cross-platform, which I just said covers iPhone, Android, PC, Mac. And a perpetual. I have a perpetual. I bought Filmora way back in the dark ages. I don't know how long ago I bought it. I have at least started with at least version 7. It's now up to version 12. It's easy to learn and use, and it's very powerful. And you can see it at https://filmora.wondershare.com. This clinic will be posted on our YouTube website channel, and it also on our website there will be a link to the PDF for this brief PowerPoint presentation, so you can download that whenever you wish. This is the Filmora website. It has a free download. You can download it and play with it to your heart's content. The only trick is that when you export a video, MP4 or DVD or any one that you can export to, it will put a watermark on your video. a very prominent one. So it's not something you're going to think you can just kind of hide or get away with. It's definitely there, which, is the encouragement for you to buy Filmora. How much is it? The annual plan, this is what doesn't make a lot of sense to me. The annual plan is $49.99 a year. That's not bad, $50. The cross-platform plan is $60 a year, and that will cover, as I said, PC, Mac, Android, iPhone, iPad, Android, tablet, etc. And then the perpetual plan, which means one-time payment forever, which is what I did these many years ago, is $80. So to me, it seems that there should only be this one and nothing else. But I guess there are enough suckers out there who will subscribe. So if you're going to decide you want to have it, you play with it, you like it, get the perpetual plan and be done with it. And also notice that they're all marked down. They've been marked down as long as this website's been up. They always knock it down X number of dollars, but basically that's how much it is.
So the regular platform they don't have Windows, a Mac also?
That is something I didn't notice until just now. If you want a Mac, you're going to pay $60 a year. And I find that interesting. I didn't know that. And this is the interface for Filmora. Now, I will enlarge it a little bit for you. We're going to talk briefly about the interface, and then I'm going to load it and we're going to play with it. We got a number of important parts. This part on the left is where all your media is imported and stored for your editing purposes. This media does not change up here. You can edit the media, cut it up down below on the timeline, but it does not change the original format, which is stored up here. That's always static. This is the preview screen that shows you either what you have selected in the media portion. If you click on one of these, then it will display it, and if it's a video, it will run it in the preview section. And then down below, and this is the key to the entire thing, is your timeline. And in the timeline is where you put your audio, your video, your text, your transitions. Everything that you want to do goes down in there, and you can manipulate it. And you can manipulate it to individual one-frame increments if you so desire. So what do I do with Filmora? I shoot and edit the monthly clinics right here.
All the way down, upper left. Let's see.
Upper left.
Where you have the files that you
Oh, here, yeah.
download.
Yeah.
Are you limited in the formats there? Do they all have to be a certain format or the same?
I have not found, I don't think I found anything that it will not load. It uses a standard JPEG, PNG, et cetera, all those GIF files. I think GIFs, I never tried a GIF. I don't know. And as far as video files go, my one camera creates a format that I never saw before, but it's apparently very common, but most cameras don't use it. Consumer cameras, and it imports them. It'll do AVI. You can import MP3, MOVs, all that kind of stuff. So it's almost. I haven't found a limit on what you can import. So I shoot and edit the monthly clinics. I shoot and edit, slowly editing, model railroads. I shot a little bit of Jim. I want to go back and shoot more of Jim. Bill and I have been working for over a year of getting his railroad shot and haven't got around to it yet, but we will do it, I promise you, Bill. I shoot and edit my own personal video. I've got a YouTube channel up there, and I like to fly my drone out in the country and then take the drone video and edit it and put it to classical music. And I put those up on my YouTube channel, and they're kind of fun to do. What I do, and I actually get paid for, although it's only $200 a month, it's enough to buy me a little wine and beer. I shoot and edit our weekly worship service at the United Church of Huntsville. I have a crew of 5 that is 3 cameramen, a director, and a soundboard operator. I use 4 cameras. And if you look right above this guy's head, you can see one of my cameras. And that's always pointed at the pianist. And the reason I do that is because when we have the offering or communion, I don't want to show a lot of people's faces, and just broadcasting, which we're not doing yet, we'll get to that in a moment, and just showing people's faces as they mill around or seeing the ushers go back and forth with the plate is not very interesting or exciting. Watching the pianist play is. And so I use the video from camera 4. In the credits, it is credited to Automated as the person who's running the camera. And it just makes a more pleasing video by using from that. We have a soundboard, a very good, sophisticated soundboard that was there before I started using videos. And so we pull our sound. Actually, we pull the sound and the video, or the main sound, right from camera 1, which is connected directly to the soundboard. The soundboard also plugs into our studio. Every week after I edit it, I upload it to YouTube. And people watch it. In fact, we're gaining members because people are seeing us on YouTube. As soon as they get the networking wiring done, we're going to start live streaming to Facebook. And this is our broadcasting studio. What we have here on the monitor is the views of the 3 cameras, and soon to be 4. And this little device down here is called a Live Pro Video Switcher. And I can switch between cameras. And when I switch between cameras, they come over to our open broadcasting studio, and that goes out onto the internet and gets streamed to Facebook. And ultimately, we will stream to Facebook and YouTube through a third party, where we stream to the third party, and they will stream to as many as we wish, because you can only stream this way. You can only stream to one service at a time. So that's what I do with Filmora. So let's take a look at what Filmora is so you can see how I do it. Now, when you start it, this is the interface you get. You get File, which gives you a new project, and when you do that, you can have a widescreen, Instagram, 9:16, standard 4:3 or 3:4, 21:9, and 4:5 vertical. You can open existing project. You can open recent projects. I'm going to open River Rails Master for now.
So WFP.
That is Wondershare Filmora project. WFP. Wondershare is the company.
Gotcha.
I'm not online here. And so it's possible that I will not have everything that I want. But at any rate, I just loaded the project, and there everything is. And lo and behold, it looks pretty much like that slide I showed you a couple of minutes ago. If I select one of these views, there it is. Now, this is the whole long view where I positioned the camera and everything, and I edited it down. Listen to the clicks on the wheels. That's a nice sound. That was purely fortuitous. And there's Bill. And that's enough of that. So you can preview your clips there. And then this, and of course, if you wish, you can make it full screen. Down here is, oh, let me just drag this up a little bit.
Okay.
This is where all the work is done. This is called the timeline. And this is your playhead right here. And so you can move anywhere within your timeline you wish in order to edit and video things. Now, one of the things about editing the video is it's a top-down methodology. So whatever is on the top shows first. So it's layered. Well, the top shows, then the next layer, then the next layer of video. So for example, here we have 1, 2, 3 different layers. We have this layer, which is just pure color. And right there it is. You can see how big it is and where it's positioned. We have the text, and then we have the image. And I wanted to have, I didn't want to have black down here, which I could have done. I wanted to have something that kind of came close to the gravel in the foreground of the photograph. So at any rate, it's layered in that process. Here's another good example of a layer. We have the QR code here, and that's on the top. Then we have the text. But we have no video down here on this layer. If we did, it would not show. Well, it might show, I don't know, partially. It would, yeah, it would give us, if we did this, it would give us that. So yeah, it would show, but we just want a black back. We just want a black background, so that's what we do. There's no dash there. But Mid-South is officially Mid-South.
No, it's not. It's mid-space south on our incorporation.
Oh, well, I've been putting a dash in forever and a day. So at any rate, some of the things also that, some of the other things we have here is, the features up here are our media. We have global media, and I have that broken down by Mid-South. So these are the things I use when I do Mid-South videos. And in the end of every Mid-South video, I do a little self-advertising. We also have this little video that I put in the end of all of our clinic videos. So I have my custom Mid-South stuff here. I have United Church, there's nothing here. I don't, by the way, use this computer to do my video editing. I use it because I wasn't going to bring in my monster tower. I mean, just disconnecting the 4 monitors is a pain in the butt. So I have everything on this little external drive. So we may not see everything that we want. Here is some of this stuff is just not going to be visible. So I can take my global media for various types of projects that I have, put them in their own folders, and I can also store them on the cloud if I wish. I'm anti-cloud. The package comes with stock media, and because we're not connected to the internet, we won't see anything, but there is a plethora of videos, a plethora of still images like you would not believe out there. And they run anywhere from 5 seconds to 2-3 minutes.
You should be able to connect it.
And they're all available if you have some more.
Yeah.
You got Wi-Fi.
That's all right.
That's all right.
We don't need it. So it has a nice selection of stock media if you want to use it, and from different sources. So it has GIFs here that you can use, and stickers, and all these. You can subscribe to film stock, and I do subscribe to film stock. I pay $16 a quarter, and it allows me to download for free for that $16 all sorts of videos and effects and transitions and everything else directly from film stock, which is run by Filmora. You also have a ton of audio, and there's a lot there. And you can use those. I don't use them very often. I have my own set of audio that I keep on my system. There are titles. You have hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of different kinds of titles. The ones that you see are probably ones that have been downloaded. But there's just a lot here, and so I use the titles. Basically, I use mine, which of course we don't see because I didn't download them to this computer. I want to keep it, I'm going to take all this stuff off this external drive anyway. So, but you have titles, and you also have transitions. Transitions are when you move from one scene to another. How do you do it? You saw all sorts of transitions in the video as we move from one scene to the other. You saw
oval things between a scene, right?
Yeah, no, these are the ovals, and if you hover over them, it will tell you what the transition is and what its duration is. You can adjust the duration. You can right-click on it, and you can edit its properties. You can cut, copy, delete it. I use it for setting the duration because I don't want everything to run at 2 seconds. For example, here, okay, those are 2 seconds. With some things in church, here's a 1 second duration because I have a 1 second duration here as well. And so I want both of these to dissolve at the same rate. So they both go off the screen, in this case into black and then text, at exactly the same rate. So there's not any jittering because one's setting off before the other.
So black is empty space then?
Yeah, black is empty space.
Yeah, okay.
And if there's nothing there, such as here, that's what you get. Now here's black with just,
Okay.
I want a black background. I don't have to put a color in. With stock media, I can with solid colors, which again we can't see. Put any color I want in there. There's quite a few colors. I can also create my own color. If I've got a color that I want, I can go into Corel Photo Paint, create a slide, and load it into Filmora, and then I have something custom that I made. So you can do that as well. So that's transitions, and there are a ton of transitions. I don't know whether or not any of these will play. Yeah.
How many stacks or channels can you do on your timeline?
Okay, that is, they say, unlimited. I have done up to 10, and that's both video and audio. So you can put a lot in there, and I have for various projects that I've created.
It builds a lot like what I've seen in, I guess. To do a timeline, they all are going to have to do almost the same thing.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
have to go and use Roxio and use Final Cut.
Yeah, I use Roxio.
Yeah.
And so yeah, basically they all do the same thing. So then we have transitions, and these are transitions that I've used, or I thought I used in the video. And I used a certain number of them. And they become they go into mine, which we just don't have right now. And we also have effects, and I don't know if we will see any effects here. Effects are things like, well, one time, I'll give you a good example. One time, we used to shoot shoot video on Wednesday night at my church during COVID. And one Wednesday night, for whatever reason, the pastor could not get through the Lord's Prayer. And it was hilarious. It was so bad that finally he said, "Can you pick one from another video?" And he was robed that night, and I found another one where he was robed with the paraments with the same color, thankfully. And so I just popped that video in of him doing the Lord's Prayer. I made, when we finished all those Wednesday nights and went back to live videoing, I made an outtake DVD, which runs 16 minutes, and it's hilarious. And I used effects in there. One of the effects I used is him just fumbling through the Lord's Prayer. And so finally, I made a halo and had it follow above his head, which is one of the effects that you can do. You can make something follow something else in the video. And then I had a whistling sound of like a bomb, and timed that in my audio tracks. And then I got an explosion and put the explosion in the top track, so it covered him. And there was the explosion, and when the smoke cleared, the pulpit was empty. So there are explosion effects. There are balls of fire effects. There's all you think of it, and there are effects there. So you can do a lot of stuff with that. You can also use in effects. You can also get what's called a mosaic. And one of the rules that I set in my church is that you don't show children's faces for more than 2 or 3 frames. If I try to avoid them as all possible, with 4 cameras, it's not hard. I can make sure that they don't show. If there are circumstances where they do, then I use the mosaic and I have it follow their faces. And so it just blurs their faces right out. So if they come out of the pew, the mosaic effect follows them. So there are a lot of nice effects in there. I don't use stickers. I don't think I've ever looked at them. That's something new. Templates, again, we're not going to see any. But they're templates like split screen. So if I want to have three separate images, I can put them within the template, which is easy to do. It's just drag and drop. I can also do a split screen simply by stacking my videos and staggering them, so I can have narrow, and put them here, and up here. And so then I can have do things like that manually as well. Okay, so now let's look at my favorite transition, and I'll show you how I did it. This transition right here, going from here to here, I think that is just beautiful. It just blew me away when I did it the first time and watched the video. I didn't think I was going to get that lucky. I went out and Googled the lift bridge, Decatur lift bridge, and looked at a lot of the images, and this is the one that I selected. Now the way I did this, let me select just the bridge. There's the bridge in and of itself. And as you can see, the grab handles go way outside the bounds of the frame. So what I did is I put it in like that, and I put the transition here of a dissolve so that I could see both at the same time. Then I just took this one and I started by dragging it around, stretching it out, sliding it down until I got a match for the bridge frame itself. Yeah. And that gives me the transition, and the viewer hopefully will be amazed enough by the transition that they won't notice that the towers are not in the same place. But that's,
When I made the logo, I used that exact picture
oh really?
and started lining things out, but I kept
Yeah.
it square
Yeah,
and just used that for the logo, added the sky, added the water. If you look at it, they sort of about the same colors.
yeah.
You're just going the other way with it.
Yeah, well, what I did, I could have squared it up in photo paint and done all of that, but you can do a certain amount of that here as well. And I just thought, well, you know, I'm just gonna
Well, it works.
grab it
The
here.
reference to go back to.
Yeah, exactly. It works, and it really grabs. The other one is this one. This was the easiest one to do because one of the options that you have in File is Record Media. Now Bill's aware of this one because when Bill does one of his videos, then he comes to my place and we run the video. He puts on a headphone with a microphone and I do a record voiceover. And then he watches the video and comments on it as the video plays and the voiceover is captured and, in nice one spot. And we do it in my house so it's quiet, so there's no flat wheels out there and things like that. But you can also record a PC screen, which I do. And I went out to Google Earth and I put in the address and I ran it once and it goes, you know, swings around the Earth, gets there, then it does the rotation as it zooms in. And when I was satisfied with that, I reset it and then I clicked on Record PC Screen and it does this. You click on the red button and it gives you a countdown. And now at this point, I'm actually recording the screen. And when I'm finished, I press F9, close it. And now at this point, I'm actually recording the screen. So when I simply recorded the Google Earth. I also changed this duration. Now, there's two ways to change the duration. Maybe not. Well, there's one way to change the duration. Well, there's two ways, but I'm not going to get into the other one. But you can get a grab bar right here, and you can just shorten your video or lengthen it as much as you want. So I selected the video I wanted, then I shortened it so it would run faster. You know, you don't want to go all the way around, you know, like that. You want to, you know, to really spin. Again, I did Google Earth because it would capture the viewer. And the whole thing that I wanted to do was capture the viewer.
That's a Google Earth Zoom.
Pardon?
That's a Google Earth Zoom.
Yep.
Zoom and
Yep.
spiral.
Yep. That's all from Google Earth.
You just get that one image and then you,
No, Google Earth does it for you.
okay.
So
Capturing that.
it just, you know, Google Earth does it because it's cinematic, and I do it because I like their cinematography, and I don't have to mess around with trying to replicate it.
Right.
Now, let's look briefly at audio. Here we have an audio track. Let's turn this track off for a moment. And you don't hear much. There.
See your beginning.
You can hear the bell. Now, I thought about putting a diesel horn on an additional audio track, but I just left it as it was. So I can take this audio track, I can adjust it, I can change its volume. I can also, with the audio, I can change the balance. I can fade it in. I can fade it out. I can change the pitch. When I did the outtakes of my worship videos, there was one where the pastor was beginning a sermon, and I changed the pitch on it so he sounded like one of the chipmunks. Now, just changed the pitch. It didn't change the speed of the video or anything else, just the pitch of the sound. So you can take a person talking or music or anything and change the pitch.
What's audio ducking?
Okay, audio ducking is if you turn that on and then you have someone speaking over a soundtrack. Whenever it hears the voice, it lowers the soundtrack volume. It ducks the soundtrack.
Nice.
It has an equalizer, and you have quite a few options, including a custom one where I normally use for voice, I use classic, or for any canned stuff like this, I will use classic. If I'm using multiple tracks, and I'll show you that in a couple of minutes, I will use various equalizers. The AI speech enhancement really doesn't do anything noticeable for me. You have wind removal, which kind of works. It didn't work real well with this one because you could still hear some wind in it. Normal denoise, which works really well. It takes out a lot of white noise. A good example is, again, at church, when the pastor says, and in our prayers we now silently pray to you, and he pauses. The longer the pause, the louder the white noise is picked up by the system because it's trying to compensate for the silence. So the denoising helps eliminate a lot of that. I cut that whole thing out in the video anyway. We can de-reverb. If there's reverb in there, we can remove hum, which is really nice, getting rid of 60-cycle hum. Hiss, if there's just a...
That removes sibilance, hisses?
To an extent, yes. And then you can set your denoise level. And you can do all of that with audio. I have 2 audio tracks here. So this one was for the train. This one is for Bill's train, and then this one is for the sound for Jim's layout. And I kept those sounds in because they just helped enhance the video. So you've seen the basic interface, so now I'm going to do something completely different. I hope this is all here, DDD. I'm not going to save the project. Whoops, I'm going to do one other thing first. So we're going to say new project. And Wondershare stuff. How about that? Now, at church, as I said, I shoot with 4 cameras. And we will run 40 to 55 minutes for a standard set of clips. Now, my main camera, camera 1, will shoot 1 continuous clip, which is nice. So that's my baseline. Cameras 2 and 3 will shoot 3 megabyte clips, and then it will create a new one. So it just creates a series of clips, which is all right. It works. Camera 4 creates a series of 2 megabyte clips. So I get twice as many clips from them. In the process of shooting all this video, for this week I have 45.5 gigabytes of video. So this worship service is rather voluminous, and they all run between 43 and 46 gigabytes of video every week. Now I'm going to select all of these. and I'm going to import them into Filmora. That was easy. Now, okay, there. Now I've changed my timeline so that we are dealing in minutes. 1 minute, 1 minute, 32 minutes, 2 minutes, 3 minutes, etc. When I prepare my worship service, I pull my videos one at a time down and drop them on the 3-minute line. Also, before I unload them from the cameras, I number them in the camera themselves. So camera 1 has just one video, so it's 1-C1. Camera 2 has multiple, so we have 1-C2, 2-C2, and 3-C2. The same with camera 3. Camera 4 has up to 5-C4. So at any rate, so I pull my first clip down. Now I'm going to pull camera 2 down and drop it there. I'm going to pull camera 3 down and drop it there. And I'm going to pull camera 1 or camera 4 and I'm going to drop it there. Now, the key to all of this is the audio track. I'm going to disable all of these tracks for a moment, and I'm going to come down to camera 1, and through experience I'm going to put myself right about there on the timeline, and I'm going to play it.
Is that the church one that you're holding?
There's my key. Da da da. Darn. Got to do it again. Sorry about that.
That you're holding?
Okay, that's the first good solid note. So I'm going to throw a marker in there. Turn off that channel. Turn on this channel. Now this one's a little easier to see. I work a lot with the audio track. So I'm going to go right about there. Put a marker in there. And I do this every week. This is the first thing I do. About there, put a marker in, turn that off, and then the easy one. It really becomes obvious here. Put a marker here. Now, what I'm doing is I'm synchronizing my audio. That should be pretty obvious by now. So I pull to my first track and then I just align the markers. Sometimes they move easy, sometimes they don't. There are ways around it. So I do a rough alignment, then I expand my track. Do another alignment. And then, well, that's not going to want to align. I'm going to go all the way to the end. Back up a little bit. Sometimes these markers are hard to see, and I don't know why they're. Now, we are dealing with 1-frame increments here. So I can line these things up pretty exact. And then we'll just go to the final step. And if I play it, and one track is slightly off. So now which one is it? I'm going to bet that it's not that one. So sometimes we just have to go through here. That's the one.
Yep.
So now what I'll do is I'll just come up here and go all the way to the end and move this track I'm going to move it that far, which may be too far, but that's all right. But I knew where the audio was. So now what I've done is I've synchronized my music or my audio tracks so that if I slide down to, okay, we're going to turn 4 off. I turn 4 on only occasionally. So now we're going to go and again, because we're top to bottom, track 3 is the one that is showing. So we're going to go here. Okay, what gives here? Oh, I know what's going on. Okay, here we have the pastor standing up. So now what we do is we take these tracks and we're going to mute them real quick and just have only the master track. And we're going to play camera 3 and we're going to watch the pastor's lips.
Welcome you all this morning. We've got some visitors. We invite you to stay for our fellowship hour following the service.
Not bad.
I really missed you last week. You know, I only missed 2 or 3.
So we're going to turn that track off and go back and do the same.
Welcome you all this morning. We've got some visitors. We invite you to stay for our fellowship hour following the service. Well, let me start by saying,
So I've got good synchronization, and the key is to make sure that his lips match the audio tracks so that it doesn't look like a Japanese movie. So I'm going to throw all of that work away now, and I'm going to open up a recent project, UCH Bass. And in this one, what I have done is I have, let's just turn all of this on for the fun of it so we can see what's what. I have taken all the audio and removed it from the video. I select all my tracks, I right click, and one of my options, which we cannot probably see here, is right there, grayed out detach audio. And it will take all the audio and it will put it down here. Now, the video tracks appear right directly above them, but I don't want them right there because that's my working area. I know that I'm going to use 3 video channels or 3 video tracks, so I'm going to raise everything up. And ultimately, I turn tracks on and watch what I want to see and capture, and then I'll bring it down, turn those tracks back off. So what I've done down here then is I have all of my audio, and I have already come down here and set my volume for each track. I've set the equalizer here, and I have set my denoising down here, and I've done that for each one of the audio tracks so that everything is set, and then I save that as a project called Bass. And that is the base for everything that I do from then on. Now, if I'm doing, I break the worship service down into 5 video segments. I have the prelude, I have the welcome and announcements, I have the call to worship and invocation, I have the scriptures and special music, and I have the sermon through the postlude. That gives me nice, easy chunks to work with. So what I do, for example, for the prelude, and this is we're going to do a little bit of that here. We're going to put track 2 up here, and we're going to keep that visible, and we're going to slide across here and watch for the pastor to sit down. And then we're going to play the video. And I'll cut it right there. Then we'll select everything, cut it, select this first segment, copy it. I will save my project again because now it's been edited. Then I'll select everything. I will delete everything. I will come down here and paste. And there I have the first part of my video. The next thing I do is I bring in, if I have it, this is the opening for the worship service. So I drop that on the first video track that shows, and it moves everything over because I put it in that mode. So then I can drop down this intro to the bottom video track. I zero, and then I come up here to this counter and I put in 10 seconds. That moves my playhead to that point. And then I drag everything down. And so the music starts at the 10-second point in the prelude video. Then I come up here looking at track 2. Hold on, what have I got here? I've got, whoops. There. I cut all my video at this point. I slide ahead and watch the acolytes as they go up to the altar. And as she's lighting that candle, I then look at camera 1. That's going to be okay. So I'm going to cut that there. And look at camera 1, and I'm going to well, that camera operator should have zoomed in, but he did not. Well, that's all right. So I'll cut it there. And then we'll take camera 2, pull it down here. Take camera 1's clip, pull it down there. Go to the end. Do a last cut. And bring camera 4 down. Then I'll turn this off and just go through all the transitions here to make sure they're good solid, because once in a while you will get a blank frame in there. Throw transitions in. Also, if you're editing and you want to put a transition between 2 clips and the transition does not want to go across the clips, that means you do have a gap in there of at least 1 frame. Now, there's one other thing that I do, and it's not going to be here. So I'm not going to do it, obviously. But I put, at the 50-second mark, I put a a text in here that says this is September 3rd, 2023, the 14th Sunday after Pentecost, live worship recording. But what I've got here now is my prelude. This I shot with my drone. We have this labyrinth which we share with St. Stephen's Episcopal, which is next door. At the 10-second mark, the music starts. Now you can hear that background noise. I will find out where it is and I will take it out, or I will mute every channel but camera 4, which is only the piano. This was also shot with my drone. I even took my drone inside the sanctuary and flew it to get a little video, and it was extremely hard to fly because it couldn't get the GPS signal, so it kept wanting to move around. So this is a piece that I made a long time ago, and I just, it's my opening piece that I use every Sunday. We have acolyte teams because the girls are usually too short to get the tall candles. And then I use a reveal of the pianist. And it's much more fun to watch her play than just look at the stained glass window. And that's...
So how long does it take you to edit each sermon?
Each worship service? I'm usually finished by 1:30 on Monday afternoon, and I start around 9:30. My aim is to have the prelude done by 20 after 10. The longest part of the whole thing is the first 45 minutes of transferring all that video. For transferring 45 gigabytes of video takes a while. When I'm finished with it, then what I do is I export it. And I have a lot of options here. I import it locally. I have my own standard 30 frame per second setup. I'm exporting it to MP4, but these are all the options of output: WAMV, AVI, HVEC, AVI, movie, GoPro, etc., etc. Right now, I can even make it a GIF. A PNG image sequence or a JPEG image sequence, MP3 or WAV. So there's a lot of options there. Now I can also send it to an iPhone, an iPad, Apple TV, etc., etc. So these are all the devices you can send it to. You can create and automatically compile and upload to your YouTube channel in one slot. I don't do that. When I finish my video, I upload it to my website, and there's this lady who watches it for me. So she vets the video, and when she says it's okay, if she finds an error, she tells me, I fix it. And when it's finished, then Wednesday morning I upload it. So you can do YouTube, you can do TikTok, Vimeo, or you can go to DVD. And so it will burn directly to a DVD. And when you have what you want, you can change its name. You can even do, there's an AI here. What is your video about? You do that and tell it to generate, and it will, oh, there's no network, so I can't. It uses ChatGPT to generate text for you. So when I'm finished, I just export it, and it sends it out as an MP4 file for me. If I just do audio, sometimes I rip the audio from a CD into this and clean up the audio, edit it. If there are long gaps or things like that, I do that. And I export it as an MP3 and put it on a thumb drive and plug it into my Blu-ray player. I've got a thumb drive that has 900 plus tracks of music on there that I can listen to on almost all of it.
When you export to DVD, publish a ready play
Yep.
to a DVD
Yep.
player
Yep.
in one process?
Yep.
Very good.
So basically that's in an hour some of the things that you can do with Filmora from Wondershare.
Impressive.
I thank you for your time.
Thank you. So you said your editing was about 12 hours?
No, my editing goes from about 4 hours.
Oh, 4 hours.
When I first started doing it, it was taking me 2-3 days. As I was learning the process, I knew the software, but I was learning the process to make a good, clean, interesting video, what transitions were best. You know, there are transitions that I would use in one place that I won't use in worship because they just don't fit the worship experience. Now for a clinic, I might, or a railroad video, such as the, the one I showed you in the opening, that I use transitions that I would not use in the worship service necessarily. I use a lot of dissolves, fades, and pushes, and occasionally rotating. I like to do the reveal for the pianist. I like to do a rotating cube as it goes from the liturgist to the pastor, because it shows the liturgist finishing up and the pastor starting as the cube rotates and things like that.